All right, today I'm going to talk about our God being the best counselor that you can get. I'm going to tell you a little story of what I experienced with him this week. As you know, I have lots and lots of dreams, and I'm beginning to analyze them more and more as I'm hearing God's voice more and more. And a lot of times he talks to me about the path he wants me to go on, like my destiny. He sometimes gives me prophetic dreams. He sometimes some of my dreams, when I interpret them, they are definitely just love notes to a father to their child. It's just beautiful once you start analyzing your dreams, what he talks to you about. Now, this week, I noticed something that I'm reflecting on in past dreams that I've had before I started really analyzing dreams. And I've noticed that God, as a true great counselor, knows what emotions are hiding below the surface, even emotions that you aren't aware of. And being in therapy for many years, I know you can sometimes just live life and not know that there's something under the surface that needs to be attended to. Or you might be aware that there's something that needs to be attended to and you can't bring it up to the surface. That's happened to me before as well. So God this week, let me give you a little backstory. Some of you may not know, probably most of you do know, that I lost my mom to Alzheimer's. It'll be 3 years in June. And with Alzheimer's, there's lots of complicated feelings that you have to sort through. One of my friend's mom, who is just so dear to me, when I was struggling last year with some hard decisions my family and I were having to make, and she came to me at church. She's like, "How are you doing?" And I just started crying. I said, "I'm just going through a tough time." This is what we're experiencing. And I said, and all these great feelings of grief are coming up. And she told me, she said, when you go through grief, that first year, it is on top of you. It walks all over you. That second year, grief walks beside you. And that third year and beyond, it's underneath you and you are walking on top of it. It is constantly there, but it is not pressing on you like it was that first year. And it's not rubbing aside you all the time like it is that second year. And she was completely right. That's been my experience to the max. And so here I am doing this third year. And there will be times where I remember my mom, and it's just there, and I just embrace it and I just love it. But it's not that grief like it was that first year. Okay, so 2 nights ago, God kept giving me dreams about my mom. And I don't dream about my mom all that often. I mean, sometimes. And I kept waking up through the night. And I didn't write anything down specific. I just knew it was a dream about my mom. And it was like my inner soul just wanted to cry every time I woke up. And I just kind of go back to sleep. And after a whole night of that, finally in the morning, that final dream, I woke up, and I know I have learned, and other people have said this too, like the best time to hear God so clearly is right when you wake up, when you're getting out of that dream state and you're laying in bed and it's quiet and you just talk to God. I can hear him so clearly. And the first thing I said when I woke up was, I miss my mom. I miss her. I didn't realize that until those dreams just kind of brought it up. And he goes, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to hear. And he said, now honor her. So I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm just going to honor her today. And I usually, for my mom, when I honor her, if I want to feel close to that memory of her, I pull out her recipe book that my sister-in-law was so sweet to make, and it had her zucchini bread in it, zucchini bread recipe. So that evening I made her zucchini bread, and I just honored her. What I didn't know, but God did. This is why he's the ultimate counselor. Not only does he know that there's feelings you need to deal with, he knows when the time is ripe. What I didn't know was that day I was going to get a text from my aunt saying that my great aunt had just passed away. On my mom's side. Okay. She lived a full life. You know, it wasn't like we knew she was going to pass. You know, she was getting older. We knew she was going to pass. But when I got that word, God just filled me with so much joy with what I'm learning, what he's imparting to me through Kat Kerr about heaven, and just teaching me about what heaven is like. When I got that text, I was filled with joy. And the thought of my mom and my grandmother greeting her there and just enjoying each other. And God knew that I was going to get that text. He knew he was going to bring my great aunt home. That day, he knew I was going to get a text that day. He knew that I was going to instantly think of my mother. So what did he do? Hours before all of those events happened, he gave me dreams constantly throughout the night, so I couldn't ignore them, to bring up these feelings of my mom to the surface, to get me in the mindset to remember my mom, so that I can remember it with joy and knowing that she is there with her family. And that they are having a joyful time, and they are rejoicing in heaven together. Isn't he the best counselor? We say that he's a counselor. We think of it as him giving advice. It has a whole different meaning after he gave me those dreams. I realized, oh my word, he is walking my life with me and walking those emotions with me to help me step through that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't he amazing? And now I look back on the times that he has given me emotional dreams, and I realize he wasn't doing that to bring up any post-traumatic stress syndrome. He wasn't bringing that up to make me have a restless night's sleep. He was prepping me for things, prepping my emotions, because therapy, when you are processing your emotions and you're getting down to the root of things, it's not always easy and it's not always pleasant. Rarely is it easy and rarely is it pleasant, but it needs to be done to be in a healthy mindset, and he knows that. And through dreams, sometimes he can use dreams to surface those emotions so that you can deal with them and process them in a healthy manner to be able to take on what he's going to give you next. It's beautiful. We serve an amazing God, don't we? I mean, we do. And that is something he taught me today. And I'm like, oh, Lord, praise you. You are the ultimate counselor in so many ways, in so many definitions. So I hope that blesses you today. I hope that starts helping you think through dreams differently. And when you have those emotional dreams, sit with God in those early morning hours and say, okay, what are you trying to prep me for? Just help me wrap my mind around it so I can prepare for the day. All right, go in his shalom.